What's up in the Black Finance family? Here for the Business and Finance News for the December 18th edition of the In the Black Finance audio experience. Hope you're enjoying the conversation thus far. Safe travels and best vibes to my great co-host Bianca, who is out doing her travel thing that she's been anticipating for some time. So let's get into it. Number one, the Fed cut. So we're still saying go slow. So the Fed lowered rates last week by 25 basis points. So now the Fed funds rate, of course, is 3.5 to 3.75, and said it'll be, of course, data dependent, which is a little bit comical, but the translation is borrowing costs should drift down, but no real sprint to get back to zero rates. Chairman Powell called policy closer to neutral. And Governor Waller said there's room for more cuts if the labor market softens without inflation, of course, flaring up. So they're always sort of balancing those things up. But you may not see it in your loans. That's going to be a room discussion here coming up because you may not be so quick to see the rate drop in your loans, like credit cards and auto loans and small business lines of credit, things like that. All right, number two, jobs. A jump in claims that's mostly tied to holiday math. So initial jobless claims jumped to 236,000 for the week ending December the 6th, the biggest weekly rise in years, largely a seasonal adjustment quirk around Thanksgiving. The 4-week average barely moved and continued claims fell to about 1.8 million, right? So hiring didn't collapse, but it is really cooling. So it's going to be a little tougher for those of you that are looking to make moves in the workforce. The CPI came out today, and I'm going to actually pull that up because that wasn't part of my update as I pulled it up last night. So that just came out this morning. So the Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, actually, the report dropped just this morning as I'm recording this. And so it's 2.7% over the last rolling 12 months. And that's for through the month of November, actually. And so the index for food and energy increased 2.6% over that same time. So overall 2.7 on the CPI. When you extrapolate out food and energy, that is 2.6. All right. Number four, winter heating cost. And so natural gas prices spiked in early December as winter cold hit, then pulled back 13% last week. Still enough volatility that many homes and many people are seeing higher heating bills versus what they may have saw last winter. So expect more budget stress, especially in colder regions where people are having to run the heat a lot more. And then watch for businesses, particularly businesses that have delivery and warehouse footprints, definitely plan for higher utilities. Number five, and close to home for me here in Memphis, Ford's EV reset. So Ford announced a major pullback on EV or electric vehicle plans, taking a close to about a $19.5 billion charge that they're going to take a hit, halting the F-150 Lightning production, which is the EV F-150 truck, and refocusing on hybrids while keeping gas trucks and SUVs as profit drivers. So here just outside of Memphis, we have the Blue Oval plant by Ford that's been in the works for some years. And now that pivot is having to shift how they hire the workforce and work with vendors and things like that. We're involved with that with RCC as far as funding some of the training and working with some of the small business owners, particularly Black small business owners who would be vendors at Blue Oval. And they've been very receptive and open to those conversations, which is dope. But what this signals is a slower profitability first EV rollout coming out of Detroit, and suppliers and charging sort of infrastructure timelines may stretch, right? Number six, a subprime auto shock. So here's a fraud thing for those of you that love fraud stories. Federal prosecutors unsealed charges against executives at Tricolor Holdings, a bankrupt subprime auto lender, alleging a years-long scheme including double pledging collateral and falsifying loan data. Two insiders have pled guilty. The founder and others are charged. Major banks and investors reportedly took significant hits on this, including JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and some others. And so that was part of the thing that hit, of course, in 2008 was in the subprime market. And so This company, I think they're based out of Arizona. What they were doing was they were, not reviewing credit, not really reviewing much background. So a lot of people who they considered to be illegal in the country were able to get vehicles this way. And people who were able to sort of navigate out of the traditional sort of system in auto lending. But what they were doing on the back end was, falsifying the data and then double pledging the collateral, meaning they'll take a car, Ron buys it, they pledge it to JP Morgan Chase, but on the same day, they'll take that car and pledge it to Wells Fargo. And so the banks found themselves in a situation where two or more banks had the same collateral to secure their loans. And you're going to take the L when that happens. All right, number 7, mortgages. So the 30-year fixed mortgage is at 6.2% versus the last read at Freddie Mac. If you recorded anything this summer, you might want to go take a look at that. National gas for the week, $2.90 per gallon. So that's continuing to sort of stay at a certain pace. And then rents. Rents were down. The median rent was down 1% month over month in November. So this is maybe the best window of the year if you're looking to make that move. All right. And then last, number 8, agencies are still sort of restaggering release calendars. So some of the reports that typically come out from some of the government agencies are being pushed to late November, and then hopefully to be able to normalize some of those in January. So from a small business perspective, watch out for SBA approvals and things like that, as SBA has been slow to sort of get back after the government shutdown that we went through for 42 days. All right. So that's the update for the week. Hope this was beneficial for you. Close the office for the final 2 weeks of the year, which is tradition for us at RCC. And so very excited to be able to spend some time sort of away from the office and sort of going around. I was around at some events this week. And so that was really dope. Definitely shout out to Klondike Smoky City area, and definitely shout out to South City. They've all had sort of Christmas events that I was invited to. The Black Chamber of Memphis has their event coming up, so I'll be going on tomorrow to participate and do a brief speech as that as well. So great things going on. School's almost over for the girls for the semester, so they're excited. Tomorrow's their last day. And so many kids are getting out of school for the holiday. So yeah, we closed the last 2 weeks. We sort of go dark, where I'm not actively scheduling meetings and things like that, although I'm still having a few fruitful discussions through the early part of next week, and then take the time out with your friends and family. So it's been a chaotic year this year, but we've made it. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the supporters, funders, partners, vendors that support River City Capital. We were able to deploy, if you see my recent Instagram post, we were able to deploy $2.3 million this year to CDC areas and Black founded companies and entrepreneurs, business owners across Memphis, and looking forward to our next expansion as we go into 2026, as we're able to look at some new markets across Tennessee. So very excited about that. But hey, let's get back to the conversation in the Black Finance. Ron.